Yeah, I bet the title of this episode got your attention. Well, it's certainly no surprise that Jaws has inspired hundreds of copycats since its release. In fact, it inspired the whole killer shark genre.
But some companies weren't satisfied simply using the premise of Jaws, but also the name.
Brian Gatto of Horror Show Movie Reviews, everybody.
Yo.
You know, just because you did that whole Shark Week thing on your channel doesn't give you the right to just barge in on my show.
Well, I thought there had to be at least one person who knew what the hell they were talking about. On that note, let's carry on.
There are some production companies out there with no ties to Universal in any way, shape or form that try to make their generic shark movies a little more appealing to the general audience by simply throwing the word Jaws into its title. Some examples include Jaws in Japan, which was originally just called Psycho Shark.
Yeah, go figure. It turns out Norman Bates wasn't the killer after all. It was a shark in disguise.
We also have Jaws 5, Cruel Jaws, an Italian movie where no actor shares any screen time with the shark, and all the footage of the beast is taken from other shark movies.
Most of which was taken from today's movie, funnily enough, which was originally just called The Last Shark, or Great White, but was also released under this alternate title: Jaws Returns.
So this movie starts during the director's beach vacation. Hey, get back to work there, buddy. You got a movie to make.
And I don't know about you, but this is not the soundtrack I expect to hear when I'm about to watch a killer shark movie.
I can only assume that there was some terrible mix-up, and there's some Roger Moore James Bond movie out there with a theme song that sounds like a bad Jaws knockoff.
So here we are in unnamed seaside community as the residents get ready for their big annual windsurfing race, in which this guy Michael, who we've watched practicing for the last 5 minutes now, is the heavy favourite for. But seeing as we're already getting shark POV shots, I'm guessing he may be a little too dead to take part this year.
Hey, Michael never died in Jaws. No, we just really wished he did.
Hi, honey. I assume it was a flash of literary genius that kept you from making the coffee while I was out.
No, just the script for The Last Shark.
Now, here we are at the home of our Brody for this movie. Peter Benton, an author whose wife, like Sheriff Brody's, is an assistant for the town's asshole mayor.
Good morning, Mr. Wells.
Gloria.
Oh, come on! You can't have this role played by Dr. Joshua Sinclair. The man's a saint. He worked with the real-life Mother Teresa.
That's like if Gandhi suddenly turned into a complete ass. Oh, never mind.
Peter, meanwhile, has gone out with a couple of the kids to search for the missing Michael, before they run into bootlegged Quint, who has found a chewed-off piece of Mikey's windboard.
One thing's for sure, it wasn't a floating chainsaw.
Well, obviously Peter has never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
But after a close encounter with the shark, they bring the board to Mayor Sinclair, who totally disagrees with the fact that there could be a shark out there, and he's probably thinking, just call me Mayor Vaughn. You know, that mayor in Jaws who believes there is no shark. I want to be like him. But after some abrupt cuts, we cut to the Coast Guard, who is bringing in a destroyed boat, and the discovery of the first victim's surfboard is soon to follow. But can all this and more change the mayor's mind?
No damn shark's gonna screw up a whole year's work and planning. We're going ahead with the regatta, and there won't be any risks.
This is bigger than the lives of innocent people. This is my reputation on the line, damn it!
But in the mayor's defense, this plasticine model of the town is pretty funky.
Shark-proof netting, which extends from here to here.
He also hires bootlegged Quint and about 10 other guys to keep an eye out on the harbour entrance while the race is going on.
A shit ton of good that does for those kids, though, who are slow motioning their way down to the ocean while the balloon shark easily tears through the steel net around the bay. The beach sequence lasted a whole 5 minutes and no one even died!
I don't know about you, Brian, but I sure could go for a nice, refreshing Pepsi right about now.
When I said that I wish the Uncle Sam movie got a little more recognition, I certainly wasn't talking about this, 15 years before its release.
And you know what? I am glad nobody died in that earlier scene because that would have taken away the focus from what the shark movie's all about. Making boats, eating snacks, and cheerleader rehearsals.
You see, this movie didn't rip off Jaws. With the whole windsurfer plotline, it's actually ripping off Jaws too.
What a relief! For a second there I thought this film had no standards.
Also, instead of something foreboding like a fin above the surface, this shark has a pink balloon snagged onto it from the gate it bit through.
Well, it seems scary enough to the surfers. Look at that, they're jumping off their boards in terror just from the sight of it.
And after Mayor Sinclair's assistant's dummy is fucking rocketed into the air, we finally get a glimpse of the shark.
Oh my god.
Look at that fucking bobblehead that's all like, what's up? And I guess it isn't done with the townspeople yet. It eats people and litters? The monster!
So now it's all up to Peter and his team to... Wait, why is Peter the one hunting the shark? He's just an author. Aren't there any cops in this town?
Mayor, I want to go and hunt this shark down.
What kind of experience do you have in the field?
I write books.
Here, take the keys to my boat and bring me back that toy shark. It's almost bath time!
And while Peter and a grenade-packing, bootlegged Quint head down to look for the beast...
Damn. Can hardly make the shark out. They use little stock footage. Nobody know the difference.
This might be the first movie I've ever seen where the behind-the-scenes footage is actually put in the film.
Maybe the shark is hiding in this cave that we can barely fit in ourselves. Trust me, I'm an author.
Eventually, the shark does show up, and after our heroes shoot at it for a short while, the shark actually starts ramming the walls in order to cause a cave-in to bury the humans alive.
Yeah, it just knows to do that. Luckily, they manage to grenade their way out, and go back to town to gloat about their failure. But they then learn that a bunch of kids, including the mayor's son and Peter's daughter, have gone out after the shark too. And don't you love how the shark just seems to be constantly changing sizes throughout the film?
Yeah, earlier it was around the average size of a great white shark, mainly because of all the stock footage, but according to this shot, it's even larger than a bus!
Jamming the throttle!
What an excellent strategy. The shark is letting itself get cut up so the kids can escape. Wait, what?
Peter's daughter is knocked overboard and has her leg bitten off. Well, I at least assume that's what happens. We never actually see it. And then we suddenly jump cut to her being in hospital. How did they escape? How did Peter and the mayor find them so fast?
I'm not sure, but one thing I do know, Mayor Sinclair is not happy with his son.
Play it again! Oh my god! Best scene in the movie!
And now he's ready to deliver a second bitch slapping to the shark as he takes his chopper out on the hunt for the fish.
And maybe you can actually stay out there for more than 5 minutes this time. They find the shark pretty quickly, and I don't really know what the mayor's plan was here, but he slips and falls into the ocean while baiting it out. And then this happens.
God damn! Why is this movie only waiting till now to bring out the decent effects?
Peter and bootleg Quint arrive next and engage the shark, but they don't fare a whole lot better than the mayor did, as Quint ends up getting tangled in some rope and dragged off into the darkness by the shark. And instead of trying to, chase down and save his friend, Peter once again thinks it's a better idea to just go back to land. Luckily, that's also where the shark is heading, after the townspeople set up a bait trap for it at the pier. As the shark starts picking off the passengers of HMS Driftwood, of which include Peter's wife, our Not Brody himself arrives just in time to get everyone aboard his ship and then sit down on the pier himself and let him be dragged off into the middle of nowhere.
There's a rather tense few moments where Peter's waiting for the shark to appear, but instead of that, Rip-Off Quint's corpse coincidentally drifts to the surface, and his handy grenade belt is still attached.
So when the shark finally emerges and eats the corpse, Peter flips the switch, and you know what's coming.
Smile, you son of a bitch!
So with Peter returning to shore a true celeb, look, he's even getting into fights with the paparazzi, this movie comes to an end with the long and depressing car ride home.
And that was The Last Shark, also known as Great White, also known as Jaws Returns.
There is no left or right about it. This movie is just another shameless Jaws clone among a sea of completely generic shark movies. What little shots of the beast there are that aren't bad quality stock footage are either that laughable blow-up doll thing in the underwater shots, or this animatron that I suspect is just ahead, because building a whole shark would have no doubt broken their budget.
Being calm, cool, and collective did not help this film in its favor. What I am thinking is that it needed to be less serious than Jaws and more entertaining than Jaws 2, which it is clearly ripping off both films. But does it deserve a lawsuit over it? No, I've seen other shark films that are way more of a ripoff than this film will ever be, such as Santa Sharks. But if you are into shark movies and Sharknado hasn't killed your interest, then definitely check this movie out. I highly recommend it. For all the shark lovers out there. So, overall, I give...
No. This is my show. I do the signing off.
Well, whatever. If you want to see some real horror movie reviews, you can come check out my channel. Until then, see you later, Sharkinator.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all we have time for tonight, so, for God's sake.
Well, let me ask you something, Fedora. I heard that you reviewed Sand Shark tonight, brother. You know that stars my daughter, Brooke? She's the apple of her daddy's eye.
Duh, go get it away from me. And no, I didn't review Sand Shark.
Okay.
I'm Fedora, this is the Horror. Save a screen for me, we'll see you next time.